Hey everyone, it's Joy here, and I am super excited to share the Summer Days and Summer Nights coordinating products. So we have the Summer Nights 3D embossing folder along with the inside frame, which is that die there, and then there is the coordinating stencil. And then the Summer Days 3D embossing folder with the inside frame and coordinating stencils. And these are layering stencils. Then the Hello Lovely stamp and coordinating die. I'm going to be using Brussels sprouts, Mocha eggplant, sweet basil, banana cream pie, spearmint, mint julep, and peaches and cream ink, white rhinestones, blender brushes, and toffee and sugar cube cardstock. So for the first card, this is the Summer Nights, I'm going to line up the inside frame in the 3D embossing folder. I'm just making sure I'm getting it in a good spot. I'm going to tape this in place and then lay my toffee cardstock over it. So it's going to die cut the center pieces out, or it's one whole center piece, and 3D emboss at the same time. And then for the second card, I'm going to use sugar cube cardstock. I am not using the inside frame. I just want to use the 3D embossing folder so I could show you two different ways to use these products. And I'm just lining up my A2 size piece of cardstock in here because the image is A2 sized in this 3D embossing folder. Look at how pretty that is. Okay, so we are going to start with our layering stencil for the Summer Nights. This is on the toffee cardstock. I thought it would be fun to do some stenciling on that, and then we'll be doing obviously stenciling on white cardstock. So now that it's embossed, I can just lay my images over, and you could do it in the reverse. You could stencil first and then line it up with your 3D embossing folder. I felt like this was the easiest way for me to do it. So my 3D images, my embossed images, are coming up through that stencil. So this is layering stencil number 1, and they are all numbered, and I am using Brussels sprouts or Brussels sprout ink to ink blend this. I have to say I love products like this because then you can make a bunch of cards quick and easy. It's kind of already done for you. You know where to line up your stencils. You've got some interest with the embossing folder images. I just think this is a great group of products. Then I am using sweet basil on my second layering stencil for the other leaves. And I am going to bring in eggplant ink for the flowers. I think these turned out really, really nice. And then for the centers, I'm going to be using Mocha. I think this is really pretty. These really dark, deep colors are beautiful against this toffee cardstock. Now you could make a shaker out of this. I am not doing that, but I am going to give it some dimension. But you could make a shaker out of this, and that would be beautiful too. Okay, on to our next one. This is the Summer Days, and I am starting with mint julep ink on my layering stencil number 1. We've got some beautiful leaves here, and I thought it would be fun to have a contrast between the two cards of dark and light and just to really kind of go with that design choice. So these are going to be really light and pretty, but I think this is just as beautiful as the first one. The second layering stencil, I am using banana cream pie for these flowers. Again, I'm just fitting my stencil over the embossed images, really easy to line up, and then I'm just taping it in place so it doesn't slide around. But I'm going to give this a good ink blending. And then for our next stencil, I'm going to be using peaches and cream. These are for the other flowers on here. So we have some pretty peach and yellow colored flowers, and then we have 2 colors of green on the background. So for the fourth stencil, I'm going to be using spearmint ink for the last bit of leaves. But look at how pretty that's turning out. Let's ink blend this one more time. And obviously you could use the stencils without even the 3D embossing folder. So there's lots of different ways that you can use all of these coordinating products. But I have to say I love it with the stencil and embossing folder together. Now I'm going to ink up my sentiments from the Hello Lovely stamp set with black ink. I've got 3 sentiments that I'm going to be using, and I am going to be using the coordinating dies for those. So I'm going to get a nice good, I inked this up a couple times to really get a good solid black image for the sentiments. And then I can tape these in place with some low tack tape, and I'm going to run those through my die cut machine. Now for the first card that we made with the toffee cardstock, I have trimmed down this top panel. I added some foam sticky strips behind it, and I'm adhering it to another piece of toffee cardstock. I didn't want to add white behind it. I really liked that toffee against it, but this just gives it dimension off of the background. And then I'm going to pop that sentiment there right in the center. All of these sentiments have foam sticky strips behind them. So this one says, wishing you a wonderful day, happy birthday at the bottom. And then the other card says, forever grateful. Both of these cards will be adhered to an A2 size card base. And then I'm going to finish them off with some white rhinestones just to add a little something extra. So on that first card, I added it in the background where we have some dimension. And then these ones are just going to be added right around this sentiment. And I'm going to adhere those down with some liquid glue, and then we can take a look at these up close just to see all of that beautiful embossing and that stenciling. Look at that. I love that. It just brings those flowers to life. I just think this turned out so, so pretty. And then we can take a look at our first card that we made. And now we have dimension from the embossing folder and dimension from the background, and I loved using that inside frame. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.